Today on the Topping Show, Disney is dropping their DEI programs. FEMA CFO is fired for illegally spending $58 million putting migrants into hotels using taxpayer dollars. ICE operations appear to be leaked from the FBI as a criminal investigation begins. Ford lost $5 billion on EVs in 2024 and 2025 isn't looking that great. Realtor.com is moving from California to the great state of Texas. And America's Got Talent and burns via their toy microphone that tends to burst into flames. The recall is being noticed now. All of that and much more on The Topping Show. Thank you everyone for taking the time to tune in today. Today's episode of The Topping Show is proudly sponsored by Topping Technologies. Topping Technologies is an IT value-added reseller and services company with a special proficiency IT security. Heck, I see their founder at least twice a day. Gotta say he's quite handsome and brilliant. He's me, see, that's the joke. If you're an IT leader or business owner, you can reach out to the team at sales@toppingtechnologies.com. Also, still giving away a free Flamethrower with every IT purchase. Go to toppingtechnologies.com and click the Flamethrower button to learn more. And yes, of course, it does come with a fun Picatinny rail adapter, so you can mount it to any standard AR-15 like all awesome accessories can be. You can also check out the URL in the video description below. Lastly, trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month, so if you can click that button and tell your friends, I would greatly appreciate it. Now going over to the business part of the podcast, you had Ford losing $5 billion on EVs in 2024, and 2025 isn't looking that great either. Now this comes to us thanks to TheVerge.com, specifically Andrew Hawkins, who's a writer over there, and they say, quote, Ford lost $5 billion on EVs in 2024. They are teasing new models. And it predicts it will lose another $5 billion in 2025, which I guess is sad and comical at the same time because inevitably, I mean, you keep having hard times, eventually you're going to have layoffs. And I mean, I really hope no one loses their job because the company keeps crumbling. Now, Ford did divide the company up into three separate divisions. You have Ford Blue, which is the one you and I love. You know, they make the real Ford Mustang, the one with a stick shift and a V8. And they make the Ford F-150, 250, 350, basically all the gas vehicles that you would see. You also have Ford Commercial, which makes a Ford 450, 550, X Banana Falcon, whatever trim level they call it, for the big commercial grade trucks, again, gas powered. And then you have the Ford E, the EV part of the company that appears to be losing money more and more, which is also very impressive to think that, again, Elon and Tesla, still the only main auto company to really make a profit on EVs, and they actually have better profit margins than most traditional manufacturers, which is pretty darn impressive to say the least. Now, diving into specifics of the article, they note that, quote, Ford's electric vehicle and software business lost $5.1 billion out in 2024, an increase from $4.7 billion they lost in 2024. Jeez Louise. 2023, I believe. The automaker didn't anticipate any relief this year when it predicts to lose $5.5 billion on EV business. Ford reported its fourth quarter and full year earnings, but the prediction was tougher for the year ahead. Ford calls it, quote, headwinds related to market factors. Very nice way of saying no one wants your stuff. Now, again, Toyota did read the room right. When everyone else was going all in on EVs, Toyota invested $7+ billion into hybrid technologies, which, although I'm not a fan of, because, again, my vehicles always have three pedals, also known as manual transmission and gas engine. One of the fastest growing consumer segments in the United States in the adoption rate area is hybrids. So Toyota did read the room right yet again. GM, definitely not. Ford, not so much. And Ford EVs, they're collecting dust, and GM did pass Ford EV sales last year in terms of total number of units sold. Now, they also say that Ford also reportedly lost $1.4 billion in quote-unquote cost improvements from its Model E division. Yeah, I don't know how many improvements there were, but they spent the money. To be sure, they say Ford's gas cars are still going great, continuing to bring in enough revenue for the company to end the year in the black. The company reported a full net year income of $5.9 billion with adjusted earnings of $10.2 billion. But the company warned its earnings may drop $2 billion or more in 2025 thanks to costly new vehicle launches and falling car prices, which all manufacturers are finally listening to the consumers, where we said, hey, we can't afford all these things. So every major manufacturer is trying to come out with lower entry level trim models of vehicles and come out with some new vehicles that don't cost an arm and a leg. With, I believe in 2024, the average new cost of vehicles sold in the United States was around $48,000, which, to me blows my mind. I mean, shoot, my Honda Civic Si, which I love, my Honda Civic Si. I mean, shoot, that was around 26,000, and to me, hard to beat that bang for your buck. Extra pun intended, I suppose, because it is a gas-powered car, of course. Now, they know that on the earnings call, Ford CEO Jim Farley said in a few weeks of tariffs by Trump administration could be manageable, but protracted tariffs could have a huge impact on the industry, with billions of dollars industry profits wiped out and adverse effects on U.S. jobs, as well as the entire value system of the industry. He predicted higher prices for consumers if Trump's tariffs remain in place. They say Ford is struggling to keep up with rivals in the EV market, while General Motors released several new models last year, including a new Chevy and Cadillac vehicles. Ford only has 3 battery-powered EVs for sale. GM's EV business is showing signs of profitability. Getting there. I'll give them credit. And Ford previously canceled plans to introduce a 3-row electric SUV in the hopes that its Silicon Valley-based Skunk Works team would enable it to roll out cheaper models in the near future. Farley said the automaker will introduce a range of powertrains, including battery, electric, plug-in hybrid, and extended range of EVs that use small gas engines to recharge its batteries for up to 700 miles of range, which is a great idea from over a decade ago when Chevrolet, or General Motors' parent company, they introduced the Chevy Volt. And for all 18 people who wanted it, they had the Cadillac, and was it the ELR, which looked cool, but yeah, it was just a Chevy Volt with extra lipstick on it. It was a coupe, only 2 seats, which, again, it looked a lot better than the Chevy Volt, but yeah, didn't sell that well. So it'll be interesting to see how Ford does in 2025. Again, it doesn't look like the EV segment will do good. And another thing, as far as the article didn't dive into, Trump is hinting he might get rid of the $7,500 tax, basically the tax break you get when you buy a new EV. Biden amended it so you had to have a certain materials made in the USA. So that already started to introduce some curveballs, so to say. So it wasn't as straightforward as it used to be, where it just had to be an EV and just, get that tax credit of $7,500. So that could be another variable that could decrease the adoption rate because, again, $7,500, that's a pretty penny, so to say. It's a pretty big incentive to purchase it. But I don't know. When it comes to EVs, we'll see how, even Tesla's, their stock's been beat up a little bit past couple of weeks. But let me know, would you ever buy a Ford EV? They have F-150 Lightning if you want a truck that can't tow. And they have the Mustang E-Mach, which is a funny-looking crossover thingamajig, which, again, it is kind of sad that the Mustang E-Mach has outsold the traditional real Mustang. But I partially digress. Let me know, would you ever buy a Ford EV? And when do you think they will make a profit? Again, a lot of these companies will lose money for years before they ever make a profit. Rivian is still losing about, $38,000 to $40,000 per EV. Lucid is about the same. Again, successful companies eventually make a profit. It's just a matter of how long you're willing to lose money to getting there. But let me know, do you think they might surprise everyone and squeeze out a profit this year, next year? And for, how many years will the shareholders be okay with it? Let me know your thoughts and comments, because as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Other interesting business news, you have Realtor.com moving from California to the great state, or some might argue the great country of Texas. Great news, as I suppose there's a silver lining of California's ineptitudes and corruption. A lot of those businesses and people come to great places like Texas and bolster our economy as we receive yet more and more companies. I believe in the next 12 to 24 months, we will have more Fortune 500 companies than any other state. Right now, California still does lead by about 6 compared to Texas. I believe there's 58 Fortune 500 companies left in California. But again, with one of the highest tax rates regulations, not just for corporate, but also for individuals in California, and most companies trying to get best ROI, make their dollars last a little bit longer, I wouldn't be surprised if more and more companies leave. Even the big tech companies, some of those have been leaving for the great state of Texas. Now, diving into this article coming from the San Francisco Gate, which, I was going to say good marketing. It's exactly what they're headquartered, and it's exactly what they're all about. Well, all the companies leave in San Francisco. Specifically, Ariana Bindeman, who's a writer over there, she says, quote, California loses yet another major Bay Area tech company to Texas. New reports seem to outline Realtors.com reasons for leaving. There you see that beautiful flag. Obviously not California, Texas flag. They say Realtor.com, an online real estate platform, is moving its headquarters from Santa Clara to Austin, which, some people might argue is just died Texas, but another topic for another time, perhaps. They say that is adding to the growing list of high-profile companies leaving the Bay Area in favor of the Lone Star State. Now they say, quote, with the move, the company has made Austin its top hiring location and is committed to long-term growth in its team and office footprint in Texas. Now they continue saying, adding to the area's affordable cost of living, aspiring lifestyle, and expansive tech and academic communities, making an ideal home base. In conjunction with the Thursday announcement, the company published a new report detailing why Texas is a booming economic powerhouse and why it's forecasting to overthrow California as the most populous U.S. state by 2045, which yet another incentive for them to move there when, again, their whole job is real estate. Now, they say, quote, people move to Texas for plentiful jobs, cheaper housing, and different climate, and their primary come from California and abroad, which, yep. They say that after California claimed the title as the state with the most Fortune 500 companies in 2024, Gavin Newsom alluded to California's lucrative tech industry by referring to its entrepreneurial economy. Yeah. With so many regulations, we'll see how long. I mean, there's a lot of venture capitalists that are out there that bolster the whole Silicon Valley and all the startups, but there's a lot more competition, and entrepreneurs like to keep most of their money and make it last longer, not, let the government steal it. I mean, tax it. And they like low regulation because you can get stuff done. I'll never forget when I had a project in California, I have a couple clients there. They said that, there's an instance where they need to have a wire go through a desk. And anyone with a modicum of intelligence or common sense would say, all right, go to your tool truck, get your drill and just drill a hole in the desk and spool the wire through, call it a day. No, they couldn't do that because of quote unquote liability reasons. So they had to pay, like, I kid you not, like in terms of cost, a couple $1,000s to have a separate company come on site, drill a hole in a desk, and feed a wire through it. That's how much regulation and nanny state it is. It is ridiculous. Now, they say that, quote, is also places where businesses that start and grow. Yeah, more like they shrink and relocate, Gavin. And the state is the change the world, but now, unquote, they say, but Texas has continued to challenge the Bay Area's reputation and reign U.S. tech epic center. A number of tech companies have left California for the South in recent years. Big companies like Oracle and Tesla, also CrowdStrike, Hewlett-Packard Enterprise. There's a lot of them. Now, Realtor.com CEO Damian Eales said that, quote, there's no better place for us to come home. After all these years, we are committed to growing our presence by hiring great local talent and by bringing new recruits to Texas, unquote. Which, the downside is getting harder and harder to buy a house in Texas, and geez Louise, the prices keep going up. But eventually, they'll build more and more houses to catch up with demand, so you won't have so much, gotta fix that old, supply and demand thing. So that's why houses are so expensive in Texas right now. But again, great opportunity for more businesses to work with Realtor.com, more jobs for people to work for them. So yet another reason Texas is awesome. We keep winning left. Left and we can't look left or right without seeing another company moving down the street. So that's great news for Texas. Again, we'll see what happens in California. There's a big shift, politically speaking, in the last presidential election. A majority of counties in California actually voted for Trump, which, when it comes to politics, usually Republicans are about less regulation and usually are able to be more pro-business with most of the policies. And we'll see if the cities ever actually change their minds in California. But again, I still challenge someone to tell me one major business has moved to California in the past 12, 24, 38, 36, 48 months. I can name hundreds that have left, and yet no one is going to there. So, we'll see how long. California is already mismanaged fiscally speaking. Well, many reasons, many ways. But fiscally speaking, we'll see how much they can really afford to lose all these companies before they actually change their policies. But let me know in the comments. Do you think California will ever change their policies in the short term to actually attract businesses to move there? Let me know your thoughts, because as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Now, going over to the Cultural Report podcast, you have Disney saying that they're going to drop all of their DEI investments and all their DEI programs after pressure from investors. It only took them several years, but maybe they're finally listening. Now, this comes with thanks to Libs of TikTok, in which she says, quote, new Disney is dropping 2 DEI programs after pressure from investors. There you see the iconic Disney logo with the OG, the original pride flag background. There's too many to pick from these days, which whoever is selling all those flags and hair dyes, they're making a killing. That's where the real business is these days. And this one pretty well got 1.8 million views and 43,000 likes. Now, we'll see. A lot of people are saying this will fix Disney. I think there are many variables of why Disney, their sales have dropped like a rock. They used to make billions of dollars in profit off films and movies and cinema, whatever fancy vernacular you prefer. But yeah, Disney's become so mismanaged and so mediocre and rudimentary, they're losing money on films. A company that basically has a license to print money in terms of their previous successes, So we'll see. I know DEI is one of the reasons a lot of people are turned off by their recent, films because they inject it into the films, the storylines. But I also think there are other variables in terms of not having any talent in terms of writing. I mean, I've seen summaries and trailers for a couple of stuff they put out, and usually, especially the Star Wars stuff, like what was it, the Acolyte or the Accolade, the Kool-Aid knockoff, whatever they call it. But I mean, it had nothing to do with the original intellectual property, and by their new storyline, a lot of people felt like they snubbed or insulted George Lucas in the original intellectual property by deviating so much from the original and basically throwing the original ideas in the trash or if you're British, the dustbin. So I think you need to get some good writers in there as well. Now, the issue is Bob alienated so many of those throughout the years, and truth be told, they apparently fired a lot of people that didn't keep up with their quote unquote DEI journal, which, as youth might say, is sus, or as we adults say, suspicious. They actually had employees keep track of their DEI activities in a journal and give it to their managers, which also included out of office or out of work activities, which kind of creepy. At the like the little creepy mouse know what you're up to, and that alienated a lot of the employees. And a lot of them left, and a lot of them were fired because of that, and a couple other myriad of reasons. So ironically, they really don't have a lot of diversity when they brag about diversity at the writing rooms these days. And I think you need some really exceptional writers. So hopefully they recruit some good writers to, come up with maybe someday an original idea, and then ideas that don't insult all your intellectual works and intellectual properties. Also, maybe don't hire mentally vacuous people like Rachel Zegler, who again, well, not only in terms of it's hilarious that the evil queen who is supposedly jealous of the little princess, they're supposed to be jealous of her looks, based, that's the original story. And yet the queen is 1,001 times more attractive than Rachel Zegler. But it's also an instance where she actually insulted Disney. She insulted the original idea, Rachel Zegler. She's like, oh yeah, it was a terrible movie from the 20s, terrible idea. Why would you hire someone who hates your company is beyond me, but they need to fix those things like that too. Now, going to the main comments section, you got someone by the name of America Papa Bear saying, quote, I wonder how much business they've lost over their horrible DEI policies and terrible movies. Getting 306 likes, which, I mean, literally billions. I mean, even Indiana Jones, which, yeah, even that one lost a couple hundred million. I mean, obviously, the story is terrible and awful and an insult. I can't believe Harrison Ford actually did it. I mean, yeah, they offered him a whole bag of cash, obviously, but it's like such a bad way to end it, and such bad. Like, it's basically the definition of insufferable, I believe. Now, you also have Valentina Gomez saying, quote, all this gay shit is the end, and I'm loving it, getting 3.8 thousand likes, quite a few. Paul Zupa says, quote, haha, even Disney, I didn't expect that, getting 124 likes. The Got Media Tim also has the AI, what do you call it, the AI meme of Disney. So instead of Disney, it says, well, same font, but it says Groomer is getting 75 likes. Scrolling down more and more. Liberty Pill Meme says, bring back the old Disney. You have, oh man, this is going to, I believe, and again, I'm not a Disney aficionado by any means, but I believe it is, oh geez, I don't know any of these. I know one of them is Lilo and Stitch. What is the other one? The other one is with the funny Greek guy. Yeah, maybe one of those Pocahontas. I don't know. I'm definitely not a Disney aficionado. But he says, sometimes I think Disney was more inclusive when it wasn't trying to be so. It got 1.69 thousand likes. Oh, it's too funny not to say this. This is Kathleen Kennedy in South Park. It says, Liberty Pill Meme says, no more of this.
Get diverse women in it. Make it more fucking lame. Is there a problem, people?
We were just discussing ideas of what to do with the new Prince Eric movie.
Put a chick in it. Make her gay.
Maybe we should go a different route than we did with Indiana Jones.
Fuck Indiana Jones. Put a chick in it and make her lame and gay.
Sure, yeah. Well, let's try that. Again.
They did.
Kathleen Kennedy is down on set right now ruining the new Bambi movie.
Put a diverse woman in it. Make it lame.
Bambi's a baby deer.
Fuck baby dear. Put a chick in it. Make her gay.
There you are, Miss Kennedy, the linguine and clam sauce.
Excuse me. I believe I asked you to put a chick in this and make her gay.
Yes, the chef was a little confused what you meant by that.
Means put a chick in the linguine and make her fucking gay. And I want it lame. If you're going to keep things from me, then you'd better put a chick in it and make it fucking gay as fuck.
Yeah, it turned out it didn't work. It lost him literally billions of dollars as well as a reputation. I got 364 likes. Liberty Pill Memes is on fire. He also has a meme where we have the famous Indiana Jones scene where he's about to steal the golden amulet, not amulet, the Golden Idol. And Indiana Jones, his name is Disney in this meme, and the Golden Idol is anything profitable. And he's swapping out the bag of sand for the anything profitable, and he's replacing it, which, yeah, I got 325 likes. Scrolling down more and more. William Bart says, quote, "We must not let up until Disney stops all this woke stuff. Until then, don't trust them because they only care about their bottom dollar," getting 849 likes, which, I mean, I actually don't know if they only care about their bottom dollar because they lost billions of dollars with those initiatives. Some might argue they're doing what their shareholders want, since while the shareholders like BlackRock, State Street, and Vanguard do have their own DEI programs, and that it is a metric in which they look at when they're investing in businesses. But I mean, if you're just looking straight up cash, cash money, yeah, they lost money with DEI. And these, again, I think also bad storytelling. Scorch says, "It's okay, Disney. I'm still not going to watch any of your movies," getting 110 likes. Maria Isabella says, quote, "Nintendo, once Disney buys them out, and it's Mario, but instead of Mario, it's a Mario costume, but it's a large African-American woman in a wheelchair." And that got 224 likes. I'm not seeing any contrarian statements thus far. Ryan Jacobson says, quote, "I think it's too late. Disney Plus is failing, the movies are a disaster, and the brand has been permanently tarnished," getting 100 likes. I mean, when they say Disney Plus is failing, it took years, but it finally squeaked out a profit recently. Granted, it was pretty small, but they were losing billions, then millions on Disney Plus, their streaming platform. Probably helped that they completed the purchase of the remaining, not the remaining shares. They purchased the remaining ownership stake of Hulu from Comcast, which previously was the last largest shareholder at 25%, Disney owning well over 50% of Hulu. So that's also adding their portfolio and what they're offering as well. But I mean, you could argue the content of Disney Plus, but it is profitable now. It's not huge, but it got there. Let's see, scrolling down more and more. Let's see. Richard Buchanan says they need a overhaul from top down, getting 11 likes. Proud American says, "I'm truly shocked. Their top executives are beyond woke. I assumed they let the company sink into bankruptcy before abandoning any other DI insanity," getting 48 likes. Now, again, this is just 2 programs. We'll see what kind of ripple effect this has on the business. And again, if they actually change any of their writers. But let me know if this is enough to regain some consumer sentiment from them, if people will trust Disney again and will actually start to go see the films. And we'll see. As a wise man, time shall tell. But let me know your thoughts in the comments, because as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Going over to the political part of the podcast, the FEMA CFO fired after she spent $58 million housing illegals in hotels, which is, what is it? I lost track of how many tax dollars are spent that aren't directly helping, taxpayers. In terms of a ratio, I'm pretty sure it's 99.9999982%, approximately. Now, this comes to us thanks to End Wokeness on X, in which he says, quote, "FEMA CFO Mary Cobbins was just fired for funneling $58 million to illegal migrants, hotels in Manhattan. FAFO," which thanks to the Urban Dictionary, I know that means F around and find out, which is the expletive F word, but I try to keep this moderately family friendly. Now, this went pretty well. I got 26.8 million views and 39,000 likes, which, yeah, at a record inflation and a record time where people are struggling to pay their bills and groceries are expensive, basically $60 million paid to that hotel, which, at least, good news for the hotel owner. They got paid a pretty penny and beyond for housing the migrants. But yeah, for the average taxpayer, probably not too happy to see this. Now, some of the top comments include End Wokeness, who credits Benny Johnson for getting the original scoop, which is probably one of the best independent reporters, bar none. And he's awesome because he's Hawkeye as well. They got 1.9 thousand likes. Libercat Media Tim says, quote, "This is what FAFO and accountability looks like. This is why we're in a mess, because before Trump, no one was fired or held accountable. Now these 4 clowns are fired and the next person will think twice," getting 283 likes, which, yeah, accountability in the federal government is almost like oil and water in the past. Yeah, a fun home science experiment too. You could try really hard to make a mix, but at the end of the day, no. Pretty much, I don't think anyone has really ever held accountable in federal government in my lifetime prior to this. And hopefully, Elon and Doge will keep uncovering, all the scandals in terms of all the money laundering. and maybe hopefully more people will be held accountable. But yep, this is pretty much the first. Now, Paul Zupa says, quote, great, now jail her and anyone else in FEMA who have been subverting the will of the people, or American people, rather, getting 1,000 likes. Cool Christian Engineer says, quote, actually, base electrician. Oh, I thought I just saw that one too. No, it's just base electrician. He says, quote, if I stole $59 million from a business I worked for and used it to fund foreign criminals, I wouldn't think I would just be fired. Getting 352 likes, which, yeah, we'll see if she's actually criminally held accountable or, she actually, especially, she actually gets a day in court. Arthur Eagleman says jail is the answer, getting 3.9 thousand likes. Chuck Costello says America is finally getting handed back to the people, getting 624 likes. Let's see here. Liberty Pill Memes says fire them all, and it's a article clipping from North Carolina, January 11th, 2025, by Audrey Conklin, and it says, quote, FEMA kicks hurricane survivors out of temporary housing into snowstorm and freezing temperatures, which, yeah, FEMA does what FEMA does. I'm sure they do some good, but I'm not seeing it lately. Got 1.4 thousand likes. Oh, wow. Liberty Pill Memes is an A+ meme. Says FEMA's a disaster. It should be abolished. And you have the guy in the poofy jacket with the no, then cool pointy thing meme. And it says FEMA's top priorities. And it says saying no to saving lives. And he does a cool pointer to the their website that says, Goal 1, instill equity as a foundation of emergency management. Got 249 likes. We also have Sarah Smith saying, quote, now it's time for prison. It looks like you have a picture of some burnt cars, and it says, quote, we're from the government and we're here to help. Say the 300 plus FEMA officials passing out $700 checks to people who lost everything while they stay in $1,500 a night 5-star hotels. Getting 173 likes. A lot of people are just calling out straight out treason, which used to be something we actually prosecute people for in the United States. Someone can say Photoshop picture of Trump where he was holding up a billboard or he's holding up a sign. And his Photoshop to simply say, lock him up. That was posted from the Waco Kid, getting 41 likes. Yeah, FEMA. Oh, this is a good one. So this is a quote from Stacy Street says, saying we, it might be emoji, so, or meme. So she's allegedly saying FEMA does not give money to illegal migrants. And, the joke is we give non-citizen migrants through NGOs. Now, the screenshot is from a FEMA website, it looks like, and it says the Shelter and Services Program. That says the Shelter and Services Program provides funds to non-federal entities that provide sheltering and other eligible services to non-citizen migrants who have been, encountered by the Department of Homeland Security and released from custody and weighing the outcome of their immigration proceedings. They got 42 likes. Let's see. Van Brow simply says, perp walk her ass now, getting 92 likes. So, again, we'll see if she's actually, has a day in court. I mean, right now it looks like she just got fired, which is something. Which, I was going to say, I mean, that would never happen under the previous administration. I mean, it seems like most public officials, if they ever get in trouble, they just get a paid time off, which is, ridiculous to say the least. But let me know, do you think she'll actually get a day in court? Will they actually bring specific charges to her? Or will they just, move on and say, hey, she got fired, it's good enough? What do you think should happen? Let me know in the comments, because, as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Other interesting political news, you have the ICE operation leak apparently originating from the FBI. Reason number 9,958,735,006 reason not to trust 3-letter acronyms of the government. Now, this comes with thanks to Libs at TikTok, which she says, quote, breaking, Tom Homan confirms ICE operation leak appears to have originated from the FBI. Says now there's a criminal investigation. The FBI agents responsible for this need to be tried for treason, unquote. Which they should be. Will they be? That's the real question. And, well, shoot, his voice is infinitely better than mine, so without too much further ado, it's also credited to, apparently, Fox News, which somehow still in business. I forget about those guys.
What is our Tom Homan? Tom, where are these leaks coming from? Well, look, we think it's coming from inside, and we know the first leak of Aurora is under current investigation. We think we identified that person under investigation right now. The California leak, Secretary Noem, she's correct. Some of the information we're receiving tends to lead toward the FBI. But I talked to the Deputy Attorney General all this weekend. They've opened up a criminal investigation, and they have promised that not only this person lose their job and lose their pension, they're going to go to jail. They're going to criminally prosecute. So we're all over it. We got Tom Holman. Tom.
There we go. So sounds like there might be some justice handed out. Again, pretty valid. Got 14.5 million views and 63,000 likes. I thought I could make it 64,000 likes. Nevertheless, I did like it. Now, I'm a little disappointed. First comment comes from Planet of Memes. So I should say the alleged Planet of Memes because there's no meme. I feel a little cheated. Nevertheless, this alleged Planet of Memes says, quote, Kash Patel needs to get confirmed and clean house at the FBI, getting 6.9 thousand likes, which, yeah, a lot of people, including myself, rooting for him. There's a TikTok responded simply by saying immediately, getting 2.7 thousand likes. American Logic X says, quote, these agencies are all compromised. Overhaul is needed once the new leadership is in place, getting 1.8 thousand likes. Couldn't agree more. The Big Picture says jail time, getting 696 likes. Paul Zupa says, quote, whoever made the leaks is in enormous trouble. Can't wait to see them prosecuted, getting 331 likes. Now, again, we've been talking about prosecution a lot in today's episode. We'll see. I mean, in the past, again, it was his first administration, his first run in presidential office. Trump was pretty forgiving. He really didn't prosecute a lot of folks. A lot of people were calling on him to prosecute Hillary Clinton for illegally, well, she also, whole Steele dossier, election manipulation, tried to get him in trouble. But he also had that email server at home with 30,000 emails maliciously deleted, intentionally. I believe she used BleachBit software. And she even had her admins break her phones to try to hide more things as well. Though I should clarify, for the record, Hillary Clinton is a totally brilliant, intelligent, intellectually, a great woman, a great leader. She's not at all corrupt, and she has not had a disproportionate number of people, 28 people around her, who have coincidentally committed suicide. And I just want to say, for the record, I don't own any rope at the rental house, and I plan to live a long, fulfilling life. Just coincidentally, just want to throw that out there. Now, you also have Libercat Media Tam says, or they have a little picture that says FAFO 100%, getting 125 likes. A plus for this. American Pop Bear says, quote, 877 cash now. Well, the cash is spelled with a K, getting 133 likes, which, yeah, talk about a great marketing. Who still remembers that silly jingle from, what was it, the 90s or 2000? Or JG Wentworth, when you need cash now? That stupid thing is still in my head. That is A plus marketing, if you think of the last decades. You also have Cool Christian Engineer says, quote, the FBI needs a deep cleaning. Enough of these traitors, getting 21 likes. You also have Troy Pakal saying, quote, FAFO no longer means be pillared on social media. It means real jail time. This is a brand new day, folks, getting 14 likes, which, again, we'll see. No one's gotten jail time, or I don't even think a court date yet for many of these incidents. Granted, the administration is still, barely being kicked off, but still. Sarah Smith says, we need cash to clean house. There's a picture of 2 FBI agents, and it says the FBI is corrupt and needs to be purged, getting 313 likes. Let's see. Not seeing any contrarian statements right here. A couple of badass pictures of Kash Patel just walking, getting 241 likes. So, yeah, again, we'll see if anyone is actually held accountable. At this point, I don't think anyone was actually surprised that the FBI is the one doing these leaks with how much corruption we've seen in the past couple of years with our government. But let me know, do you think anyone will actually be held accountable? Will they just be fired? And then will they actually maybe even get the time, in a courtroom? And could they actually go to jail? Let me know your thoughts, because as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Now, going over to the business blunder of the day, you have Blunder of the day, rather. You have America's Got Talent and Burns with their novelty kids toy. Again, a friendly reminder to click the subscribe button. When I first started the show, I had, barely any subscribers, perhaps my family, and I stumbled over my words worse than Joe Biden trying to climb upstairs, and I spoke faster than Ben Shapiro, believe it or not. But as I slowly but surely gain more subscribers, I become slightly more articulate. Granted, some might argue it's just a modicum improvement, but the more and more subscribers I've gained, the better I've gotten at speaking, and someday I'll make it through an entire episode speaking perfectly, articulately, and fluently. Sure, some might say it's a pie in the sky goal, but you gotta aim for something, and someday I think we can get there. So if you can click that button and tell your friends, and I'll greatly appreciate it. And shoot, now that I think about it, send this to your enemies. You never know. It might be a good way to poke the bear and get a entertaining negative reaction because they hate the content so much they hate you even more. Or maybe they are so enamored by your suggestion they like it so much, your enemies then become your friends. Either way, it'd be a funny story, so I recommend doing it. So again, do me a favor and click that subscribe button, and I greatly appreciate it. Now, this comes to us thanks to the United States Consumer Product Safety Commission, in which they say Jazzwares recalls America's Got Talent microphones with lithium-ion batteries due to fire hazard, which, fire hazard's not a great thing for kids' toys. Don't get me wrong, before the nanny state and, when, kids were more responsible, they used to be able to play with uranium, with the home atom kit, and shoot, even, play with fire. I mean, men were made of tougher things back in the day, but not these days, unfortunately. Now here you can see the funny looking novelty microphone, which, yeah, I mean, not to be pejorative, but it looks like something you'd see at the dollar store. Not that there's anything wrong with the dollar store. I go there frequently for bulk candy for Christmas stuff, but nevertheless, they say that this recall date, again, pretty recent. Recall is February 6, 2025. Oh man, I don't believe this. This affected 125,000 units in the United States, as well as 6 were sold in Canada, which can't blame them for not selling enough in Canada. There's not a single maple syrup leaf or hockey reference on the packaging. So, I mean, F- for marketing in Canada. Pretty sure that's all they're known for. And Challengers and Dodge products, Challengers and Chargers. But nevertheless, it's, pretty much tailored for American market. I mean, it's called America's Got Talent. It's even got our colors. So, obviously, it makes sense they would sell most of them here. But nevertheless, they note that, quote, the recall involves the America's Got Talent microphone sold under the First Act brand. The microphone amplifies the user's voice and has, fancy treble, bass, and echo switches. That's pretty fancy. Although, not the Fostech echo switch like an AR, I don't think. I don't think it's that cool. The microphone is black and has the AGT logo on the front, which, looks okay. Measures 10.5 inches long, weighs about a pound. There's an integrated speaker below the microphone with a power button and control button on the back. The microphone is powered by a rechargeable, non-removable lithium-ion battery. The SKU numbers, if you want to get your magnifying glass to check out the SKU numbers, is AGT0002 for the microphone only, and TMS002 for the microphone and poster. Whoa, we've got a poster with this thing. What a great value, which not really good. So not only can this burst into flames, but it comes with kindling because it gives you a poster in some cases, which not great. Now, they say that, quote, the recalled lithium-ion batteries should be disposed of in accordance with any local and state ordinances, following the procedures established by your municipality for recycling center. Now, they note that because these are potentially hazardous batteries, must be handled differently than other batteries, do not dispose of these recalled products that have lithium-ion batteries in the trash because they have a tendency to burst into flames, which, that's a downside of lithium-ion. It's a much greater density in terms of energy storage than, all the NiCad batteries or nickel-cadmium batteries. But, they're a little more volatile, to say the least, which is, we gotta be a little extra care for them. They also say that do not deposit this recalled product in used battery recycling boxes found at various retail and home improvement stores, since, those are typically just the lead acid batteries they crush up, recycle. Now, unfortunately, it says the firm has received 3 reports of lithium-ion batteries igniting, resulting in smoke and fire damage to walls and floors. However, the silver lining situation is no injuries have been reported as of yet. Now, these are sold at, geez Louise, this throws me back to living in the Midwest, Myers, which somehow there's some business, DD's Discount, Ross, Target, and Walmart, Nebraska Furniture Mart, as well as Amazon.com, Target.com. They sold through October 2020 through October 2022 for between $20 and $25. The recall number specifically, if I reach out to them, is 125. Again, it's 25-125, which, I don't know what is with it with these companies where, again, if you decide a child product or a child toy, one would think I don't know if you double, the quality assurance department from a standard product, but you probably want to take a little bit more care than usual. And this isn't an easy fix. You're going to have to, because it's lithium ion, you got to more of a pain in the rear to recycle it properly, which of course you should do, but you get more inconvenience for the consumer. And then apparently you're going to give you a refund. But gotta say, not sure how many people would want a new one when, the first one burst into flames. And again, doesn't look like that high quality product to begin with. But not only is the show, business blunder, but I would say this microphone as well. Gotta say, America's Got Talent. Certainly the business blunder of the day. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in today. Again, trying to get 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month, so if you can click that button, I greatly appreciate it. Also, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, or comment. It's a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how to make the show better and better. Friendly reminder, we're going to have our first Q&A live stream Saturday, February 22nd, probably around 6 p.m. Texas time, or some people call it Central Time. So get ready for your first questions for the very first Q&A. We'll see how much fun that can be. Lastly, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your enemies, heck, tell your coworkers, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight.